Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. So today I want to share with you something kind of interesting because I've been talking to a bunch of different people. Some are more wealthy, some are not so wealthy, some spend money in Genshin, some just stay as free to play. But the one thing we share in common is that we all have different preferences for characters, and we essentially discussed and went over what are some of the characters that personally we felt like, well, not me, because I have all the characters, but not to flex or anything. Most of these people who I talked to did not have all the characters, and of course they had to make some hard decisions. And now, of course, looking back at it, hindsight 2020, they of course do regret skipping some of those characters. Now, of course, we can all be biased because we've been playing with these characters that we currently have for so long that we end up being like, they're nothing special. But other people are like, man, I really wish I had, an Ayaka or whatever. So do keep that in mind. Also, I'm actually very curious, what are some of the characters that you ended up skipping on, and now looking back at it, you're like, damn, I really wish I picked that character up. All right, so you can leave that in the comments now and see later if these characters are gonna appear in the video, so we can see your top 5 versus our top 5. Remember to like, subscribe. We're close to 50k. Hope we can hit it before the end of the year. With that said, let's get this video started. Starting at number 5, it's kind of a 2-in-1 because we really couldn't decide which one was better or worse, and we didn't want to place these characters any higher because they're kind of a given. They're pretty straightforward, and at this point I think everybody can attest to how amazing these characters are. But honestly, most people do have them, so what ended up happening was we didn't really say we could regret it too much because only a couple people didn't have them, and it happened by choice, right? It's not because they wanted them but they didn't get them. It's just they actively chose to skip them, and they're like, damn, I wish I didn't do that. And that would be Venti and John Lee. These two characters are staples in many different teams. They can open up incredible synergies to help you crush through some of the hardest content in the game, and in some cases trivialize entire game mechanics to allow you to breeze through with no problems whatsoever. So the biggest reason that these people said they felt like they regretted skipping Venti and John Lee is because they feel like, while yes, they have amazing characters which they enjoy playing, sometimes they just want to pair them with the best that there is. And when the best that there possibly could be are these Archons, which have came by twice, and twice they did not get these characters, it's difficult to see into the future and predict when they likely will come back, and it really makes them feel like they're missing out on something. But I constantly reiterate and tell them, you know what, you're not missing out on anything. Look at me, like I can't do anything without John Lee. I look like a complete ape playing this game when I don't have John Lee on my team, and half the time nowadays I don't use Venti anyway, so you're really not missing out on much. All right, so moving on to number 4, it was general consensus. Ayaka came in at number 4, being like, yeah, damn, Ayaka, that character is so well balanced, essentially, that her kit and her highlight is so accentuated to the point where you almost question that who really is the most balanced character in the game right now, right? I would argue Ayaka is definitely up there as a character who has great strength and obvious weaknesses. Her C0 is very strong, as well as her constellations provide great support, but without making it like Ganyu or Xiao, where it completely changes the game for the character completely. So Ayaka sitting at number 4 for that great usage and synergy, and of course Cryo is just this is not going to be the last Cryo character you see on this list, let me just say that. All right, moving onwards, number 3, I think people can guess this one themselves. It's Ganyu. Now here's the thing, a lot of the people who did pick Ganyu was mostly because they were not playing when Ganyu was around, so I don't know if that is fair game, but they're just like, damn, I wish I could have been playing when Ganyu came out. I would have picked her up. And I was like, if you were playing during Ganyu, you might not have picked her up, because while yes, it was quickly realized that she was completely insane and broken, but there was Xiao coming afterwards, and I think at the time there were leaks flying around about Hu Tao, how miHoYo does these things, right? It's never just about the character themselves. It's always about who are you potentially giving up. And when people were pulling for Ganyu, they had hard choices to make. It wasn't such a straightforward decision. So Ganyu is up there at number 3. Now, going into number 2, this might surprise you guys, all right? I'm going to take a quick stop right now, and I want you guys to take a quick guess for yourselves. Who do you think most of these people wanted but ended up skipping on at the number 2 spot? And if you are a smart flapper, you would have guessed Xiao Mia. Damn, you didn't see that coming now, did you? People actually want Xiao Mia. Yes, all right. The reality is Xiao Mia was not as bad of a character that we thought she was. She was way over exaggerated to be this completely terrible, unplayable, broken, half-built, lazy design character. But in actuality, her usage in the Spiral Abyss has skyrocketed ever since. And as people start to learn her mechanics and how to properly utilize her team builds, and just starting to appreciate Xiao Mia for what she is designed to be, as opposed to what you want her to be or what the meta at the time was leaning towards, right? And this is something going forward I think we should really be careful of, because as Ito comes out, it's going to be the start of some pretty interesting mono teams, just mono Geo. You run 4 Geos with Goro, hey, no problem with that. I don't think there's going to be as big an uproar for Ito because there has been no precedence, essentially. Well, you do have it right now with Ningguang, but yeah, you know, without Goro, you're really missing a Bennett-like character in your team. So we'll talk about that in the future. But anyways, Xiao Mia coming at the 2nd place. She is irreplaceable for a lot of people in their Spiral Abyss team runs, especially as you get her to C6. Absolutely phenomenal units. Like, she's shooting tank bullets at the speed of a submachine gun. It's not fair. All right, Xiao Mia isn't fair. And at C6, she easily replaces Hu Tao as the best single target pyro DPS. And even at C0, people don't take her lightly. And for people who still think, I don't care about Xiao Mia, I don't want her because she sucks, she's not meta, she's meta now. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, moving on to number 1, I think everybody should know this one. One of the most beloved characters in the community, which most people ended up skipping on, and not due to them being bad in particular. It was mostly because of who was coming after them. And you guys start to see a pattern, right? Most of these characters, it feels like, well, we skipped them or we didn't get them, not because they're bad, it was because we were looking for somebody else. And yes, at number 1, we do have the man himself, Kazuha. Well, Kazuha was the first Inazuma character to be ever released and available to summon on a banner. He was also the character that surprisingly did below average when it comes to sales number, and that's of course due to Raiden Shogun and Ayaka being right after him. But when it comes to utilization, Kazuha is up there, and of course people who play the game a lot, who challenge the Spiral Abyss, who constantly try to build new teams, they start realizing the value of Kazuha is that he can pair well with anyone. He provides a great team synergy, and he's got that sweet drip that nobody can really compete against. All right, so how did this list end up turning out? Did you guys have anyone that you matched with on this list? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm actually really curious as to what people regret skipping on. I did have some people come back and tell me, it's like, hey Walrus, I skipped Kazuha because you said he was just, you know, a Venti replacement, or you said he wasn't gonna be worth it, and now I feel really bad. And sometimes I do feel like that I'm influencing people in their decisions when polling for characters. But if you guys understand that, never base your decision on one person. I'm not trying to shift blame, but if you guys look back at my video, I did urge you guys, you know, hey, while he is not absolutely necessary, if you have great Anemo characters, he certainly is a powerful unit, and I even ranked him as a potential S tier unit. So I did give him the praise that he deserved from the get-go. But still, comparatively, if you skipped Kazuha for Raiden Shogun, you're still winning. Raiden Shogun did not appear on this list because literally everyone and their grandmas had Raiden Shogun. That she's like this character that nobody could skip up on, and of course it shows in her banner sales. All right, with that said, people, I look forward to seeing your comments down below, as well as looking to meeting some of you guys in my live streams on Wednesdays and Saturdays right here on YouTube on my channel from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until then, urge you all to stay safe and peace.